We've got another email question that's come in. Let's go ahead and go to that one. If you work on a military base and get hurt in one of the usual ways, a wreck or a fall or something, is the process different because it happened on a federal property? Do you still use a regular lawyer? And that's from Don. Well, Don, it depends. Yes, you use a regular lawyer if it happens on a military base. Typically, it is going to be a federal claim. The question then becomes, is it workers' compensation under the federal system, or is it what's called a federal tort claim, or is it a general negligence claim that has to go through federal court because it happened on a federal property? All of those depend upon the specific facts of your case. Yours is kind of a what if, or who do you call? You call somebody who's experienced in personal injury, who has experience also in federal court cases that can parse it out and file the right forms. For instance, there's something called the Federal Tort Claims Act. If, let's say, somebody who was working for the military and they're on the job at the time working for the military and they hit a civilian, that falls under the Federal Tort Claims Act. And there are certain forms, it's called FTCA 95A, you have to fill out. See, got a little experience, so we know what that form is without looking it up, without doing any of the other stuff. You have to file that in, and it gives the appropriate federal facility or agency the opportunity to investigate your claim. They have to investigate the claim. They have up to 6 months to investigate your claim. They do so. They either just ignore it, don't do anything with it, or they can accept it, or they can deny it. Filling out the form also has problems with it, because if you put a certain dollar amount in there, let's say that at the time you try to do it on your own and you say, all I want is my $3,500 worth of property damage, but that your shoulder's bothering you or your neck's bothering you, and they finally get around about 4.5, 5 months in, and they say, all right, we're going to accept your claim for $3,500, and you say, well, wait a minute, I didn't put in my personal injury claim, I didn't put in my shoulder surgery or my neck surgery or my physical therapy. That's too bad. You've now waived that. So it's very dangerous to try to do something like that on your own, Don. So yes, you need to have a lawyer. You need to have a lawyer who understands those federal procedures, understands them with the details, and make sure they've got the experience to go whichever way it needs to go. I can tell you that also, if you're on the job, you may have a workers' compensation claim. If you're working for a federal employer, it turns out to be a federal workers' compensation claim. So there you go through the what ifs. I think I counted up real quick 8 or 9 different potential avenues you can go. So yes, get a lawyer when you do that, Don.